In 5 games, that's 5 per game. Here's a step back. Haliburton.
Let that go in. That's a shake 'em up with style.
Tyrese Haliburton has been tearing up the courts in the last few seasons with his crafty ability. At this point in time, he has played 4 seasons for the Pacers and Kings with an average of 17.3 points, 8.6 assists, and 3.7 rebounds in 224 regular season games. But there is one scary truth about him that nobody hasn't noticed. His childhood tells the story of a rather different Haliburton than we know today. Haliburton grew up in the humblest of surroundings in the suburbs of Oshkosh, just a half-an-hour drive up north from Milwaukee. While the city took a liking towards sports, it was no sports town like New York City or LA. Basketball was just not as popular as beer in town, despite Kareem making a name for himself in the early 70s. Yet young Haliburton found joy in basketball. He practiced and trained hard. His parents never had to ask him if he was ready for training because he was always ready. He always had the "I'm ready to get this" mentality about him. But that is just the beginning of his passion for basketball. High school basketball is where he shaped his understanding of the game. Studying at Oshkosh North High School, every day early in the morning he would walk into the principal's office to get a morning pass into the gym. The janitors would still be at work when he showed up on site.
So I wasn't the kid at the top that was like trying to stay there. I'm the kid that's way at the bottom trying to like chase that. You know what I mean?
It was more important to Haliburton that he played team basketball than try to impress scouts and potential sponsors. While every other kid wanted to sign sponsorships to support their budding careers, Haliburton took the unconventional route by playing locally, opting against the wildly popular big shoe circuits that brought in players of today like AD, Trae Young, and De'Aaron Fox. He'd rather play basketball with his teammates than join big-name brands.
You know how it is now with grassroots basketball. It's all about the circuit. So Nike's obviously the biggest. There's Adidas, Under Armour, all that stuff. I didn't do none of that. Like I played with like my local team.
No discredit to circuits like the IYBL, though, because they produce talent as a matter of fact, but you'll see why later in this video why Haliburton's early choices made him who he is today. Local basketball was the apple of Haliburton's eye, and it wouldn't be long until some mid-major offers from established colleges. The likes of Marquette, Michigan, and Iowa State were knocking on his door with offers. Regarded as a 3-star recruit by ESPN and rivals, he signed the pen on the Iowa State Cyclones. Would that decision to move down southwest be worth it all? Right off the bat, he was already helping out his younger teammates learn the ropes, sharing his hard-earned knowledge with them. He was great at passing in games, often picking out teammates in better scoring opportunities than himself. Reality hadn't quite hit him until a game against the formidable Kansas, a top 5 in the country at the time. The reality check was eye-opening as they encountered them early on within the first 2 conference games. Iowa and Haliburton knocked it out of the park, defeating Kansas by 20. It even impressed Bill Self, who, when handshaking Haliburton post-game, uttered the sweet words, "You can play anywhere in the country," to him. He further praised the Iowa team in the post-game press conference, saying that was one of the best backcourts he has ever seen. It was bliss for Haliburton because just a few months prior, nobody even knew his name. And now that they were merely 13 games into the year, Haliburton was the talk of the town. It all took off for Haliburton in Iowa since. However, his college year was cut short when he suffered a season-ending left wrist fracture. Would this be fatal towards his chances of declaring for the upcoming NBA draft? At this point in Haliburton's career, talk about the young point guard wasn't at town level anymore. He caught the attention of national basketball with fans already rooting for him and debating if he could be the NBA Rookie of the Year should he join the NBA. But that was until this happened.
Today we're reminded of that as Iowa State sophomore guard Tyrese Haliburton, a potential top 5 pick in this summer's NBA draft, announced that he would be missing the rest of the season with a left wrist fracture.
I remember playing K-State, I go up to block a shot and it takes my legs out and I go to catch myself again, just human instinct, you know? And I knew my season was over.
Haliburton recovered well and fast, and soon he was faced with the choice of staying or leaving Iowa for the NBA. Consulting his coach whether or not he is ready to make the shift, he heard his coach's response. "Well, you're not coming back here," he said. Haliburton was as ready to go as anyone could be. Coach Prom gave his blessing, and so came the NBA draft. Without any delay from the wrist injury, of course.
Yeah, so my emotions on draft night, there was a lot of them. You know, I think I just kept telling myself and telling everybody, like, I'm not gonna cry, like I'm excited, you know, I can't wait.
The numbers were counting and players' names were being called. And then,
with the 12th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings select Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State University.
the Kings got the steal on draft night. By the looks of things, one can be certain he doesn't and need a few years to develop. He's the hit-the-ground-running kind of basketball player. You can already see the basketball IQ from his college plays. The only question is, the NBA is a huge step up from college basketball. Will his current development and IQ translate?
A lot of things to look forward to, off the court, but on the court as well. I'm ready for these challenges and ready to, get started.
Kings head coach Luke Walton has witnessed Haliburton play in college. With years of coaching and scouting experience under his belt and held as one of the best assistant coaches in basketball, made a rightful comment in response to the guard's draft into the NBA. Don't mess with his shot! Within that same year, he quickly rose to the occasion in becoming a key player in the Kings roster alongside Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox. Being the rookie, he came into the team offering himself up to any task the team throws at him. Whether he was directed to start games or to come in for later quarters, he absorbed it like a sponge. Mesmerizing rookie season. Haliburton's performance stood out. He ranked impressively among fellow rookies, which included the likes of Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, finishing fourth in scoring with an average of 13 points, second in assists at 5.3 per game, and third in three-point shooting percentage among rookies, with over 100 attempts from beyond the arc. These are numbers even some second or third years would find hard to come by. It was around this time that the NBA world started drawing comparisons between him and one legendary player. It was like he was playing basketball in his likeness. At 21, Haliburton was a finalist for the NBA Rookie of the Year award, competing against likely winners LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards, but his recognition on a national level was well-deserved. Haliburton's addition to the team provided Coach Luke Walton with a valuable playmaker to support star point guard De'Aaron Fox. He brought stability to the offense, especially when Fox was off the court. Despite a calf injury that sidelined him for 4 games before the All-Star break and a subsequent struggle with shooting, Haliburton rebounded strongly, scoring 28 points in a victory against Cleveland on March 22nd. However, the Kings faced challenges, including a 9-game losing streak in March, with Haliburton's performance dipping during this period. Haliburton managed to bounce back after the losing streak, but his season was cut short by a knee injury in a win against the Dallas Mavericks. Fortunately, the injury was less severe than initially feared, and he is expected to resume on-court activities soon. Overall, Haliburton's rookie season was a success, showcasing his potential and a level of maturity rare in 21-year-olds. He acknowledged the need to improve his conditioning, which was understandable given the impact the pandemic had on the entire country. Haliburton planned to focus on gaining strength and building relationships with his teammates during the offseason. Improving his conditioning should help address some of the consistency issues he faced in his first year, which were exacerbated by the condensed schedule and limited practice time.
I would say I had a lot of success early in my rookie year, and that's just I was like, man, I really feel like I belong. I really feel like I can be a good player in the league. And I wouldn't say to where I am now, I didn't really have that feeling until like my second year.
Looking ahead to his second year, there's optimism for further improvement. Haliburton has already shown he can be a foundational player for the Kings alongside De'Aaron Fox. His goal is clear: to lead the Kings back to the playoffs, a focus that bodes well for the team's future. The future of the Kings was set in stone, but that did not last for long in a dramatic turn of events.
What's the instant reaction around the league to Sacramento trading Tyrese Haliburton?
Stunned. The league is stunned at this trade.
When Haliburton made his way to Indianapolis in February 2022, to say it was a shocking ordeal would be an understatement. He became part of a seasoned Pacers squad that was struggling amidst a losing streak.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been crazy, a lot of emotions, but I'm excited to be here and excited to get started.
That season was particularly tough for the Pacers, ranking as one of their worst in terms of wins and losses. Injuries played a role, but a larger issue was a lack of enthusiasm and spirit. The team's core often signals when it's time for change, and this iteration of the Pacers clearly showed it was time, with each play seemingly leading to a dead end. Many were taken aback by the shock move as he was seemingly comfortable at Sacramento, but also becoming a franchise cornerstone, with just 2 seasons playing with them. Did they let him go early with much left in his tank? However, he was determined to cement a matured point guard role with the Pacers. He was excited for the new team and new experiences he would encounter. The trade didn't happen without some complications, though. Haliburton initially went through cycles of feeling unbelonged to the roster.
It's such a reality check, man. It's such a reality check. We getting that call, it was like the first time in my basketball career, probably since like high school, because when you're in high school, you're you're a recruited kid, like everybody shows you love, like you're on top of the world. It was the first time I felt like unwanted.
But as of now, Haliburton has been dominating the point guard role and proved himself as one of the big dogs as Pacers boast the highest offensive rating in the league. He leads the NBA in offensive rating and is second only to Jokic in offensive box plus minus. His assist percentage is a staggering 50.6%, slightly higher than Steve Nash's 2007 record of 50.1%. What does all this mean? Are we seeing Steve Nash's reincarnate in the form of Tyrese Haliburton? After all, the basketball world has been comparing the two side by side. Haliburton's impact on the Pacers is reminiscent of Steve Nash's influence, where he masterfully balances facilitating the team's offense with his own efficient scoring. Nash, known for his efficiency and holding the record for the most 50-40-90 seasons, often left fans curious about what would happen if he increased his shooting attempts. The most Nash ever averaged was 13.4 field goal attempts per game, with 4.3 from three-point range. In contrast, Haliburton, in these 10 games, is averaging 16.3 attempts, including 7.8 three-pointers. Haliburton represents a unique blend in today's NBA, merging the three-point revolution with the traditional point guard role. His style is akin to Steve Nash's, but with a more pronounced license to shoot. While it's early in his career, and we're looking at a 10-game snapshot, it's worth noting that at just 23 years old, Haliburton's potential for growth is immense. The Pacers seem to have a promising future with Haliburton at the helm. Once the ball got rolling with the Pacers, he very much took the role flawlessly, quickly understanding his team's philosophy and taking responsibility to lead the team on the floor and in the locker room. Addressing the parallels between Haliburton and Nash, Steve had this unique way of connecting with his teammates. He'd reach out, touch them, creating a bond that felt almost electric, reflects Pacers coach Carlisle. It was as if an energy flowed from him to his team members. While Haliburton may not engage in the exact same manner, he shares a similar ability to forge connections. His approach isn't just about casual check-ins or making plans. He just knows when his teammates need something more. This intuition extends beyond mere gameplay strategies, surpassing the mere distribution of shots and plays. The greatest challenge for a skilled team often lies within itself: internal conflicts, tough negotiations, unfulfilled aspirations. Nash had a knack for stabilizing his teams emotionally. Before all of us look forward with great intent and excitement to Haliburton's journey, looking back into the past leading up to this, it's clear that he is not just a player with remarkable skills, but also a leader with a deep understanding of the game's nuances. His story is a testament to the power of dedication, resilience, and the ability to transcend traditional roles in pursuit of greatness. As Haliburton continues to evolve, he stands as a beacon of hope for the Pacers and an inspiration to basketball fans around the world. Will Tyrese Haliburton be as great as Steve Nash? Let me know what you think in the comments.